All new at 5 tonight, Georgia has now filed its response to the Texas election lawsuit asking the Supreme Court to invalidate President-elect Joe Biden's wins here and 3 other battleground states. This was filed by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. It claims states exploited the COVID-19 pandemic to justify ignoring federal and state election laws. Specifically in Georgia, the lawsuit is looking at the signature verification process and rejected absentee ballot rate, along with a consent decree relating to curing ballots. Yesterday, President Trump filed a motion to join as a plaintiff, as did attorney generals in 17 other states. In today's briefing, Georgia's elections manager offered his opinion of the motion.
We agree with Attorney General Carr that it is constitutionally wrong, wrong on the law, and wrong on the facts.
President Trump met with the attorney generals this afternoon at the White House. We do expect to learn more tonight when he delivers remarks at a congressional ball held at the White House. We'll have more on Georgia's response coming up at 6.